Oh, it was in this one, but it's in my history. There we go. Let me zoom that in. We'll put that next to my Discord.
Okay. Let's see. What was those? Let's see. Pull up the patch notes. Anyways, I started recording about 30 seconds ago, but let's see. Oh my god! I know we had in the brainstorm. We shared our notes. Did we not? We didn't know
yeah.
That patch came out today.
There you go.
Yes, bro.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say it came to the test server literally today, and so did the wind deltas.
Yeah. But anyways, what's going, guys? It's us again, Team Dominus, Dan, Cal, and Nick.
Yes,
With
sir.
on a work in progress on the name for the podcast. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. With Siege, with other stuff as well. Anyways, so let's get started. The first thing I want to say is looking at the first thing I woke up today, I saw smoke nerf. I'm pissed.
Yeah,
I
I
am
don't even.
pissed.
I mean, it says it's targeted at casual players, and I have to agree. Not many smoke players are actually tossing smokes at their feet and smoking themselves. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't think this will actively take away from the gameplay itself. But I saw it somewhere. Maybe it was one of you guys that said it. They have been slowly inking out all the operator specific abilities, like with Echo and not being able to get called by Dokkaebi, Zofia and Ella's resistance to slow, and now this, it's just slowly heading in a direction of no obscure sort of abilities in favor of, I guess, more unison and more fairness.
So they're getting rid of passive things that's specific to their gadget. So you're saying like I don't think it's going to happen. Like if Legion stepped on his own goo mine.
Well, I don't think that'll happen because in that instance, all defenders are kind of immune to them. But it's more so in line with like again, Zofia and Ella specifically not getting like stuff done to them with their Elemines and Zofia stuns.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of just instead just phased it out for everyone. But also Dokkaebi's calls now showing up for Echo. I believe that was a
That
couple of
was
seasons ago.
that was 2 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a
like
long time ago.
they've
Yes.
they've been over time just phasing those things out, those small like unique parts of this game. And I feel like although this is like something that people are making a muck about right now, realistically long term people won't really care because most people don't smoke their feet.
Yeah. Yeah. But the thing
Well,
is, go ahead.
I was gonna say that's most people not smoking your feet. Like that's an argument to not have the change in. Like if people aren't doing it, then what's the point of having the change in? Like at this point, just get rid of all the unique little quirks about operators. Take away the ability to Ying not being able to Candela herself. She should be able to get blind. Then, if that's the case, I mean, just make this Call of Duty with named operators. At this point,
That
it's like
Yeah.
it's like having all these operators that have tiny little unique things about them helps make things a little bit different because it comes into play like, oh, which operator should I pick, this and that. Like obviously they made this change because they don't want people playing Smoke as much because Smoke has a shield, but if they took the shield away from Smoke, there would probably literally be a fucking riot.
Just a
So
little bit. Just a little bit.
yeah,
Yeah.
like what I'm seeing just looking down at all of this is that they're they're not just trying to balance things out. Like it looked like before they're trying to balance it out between attacker and defender, but they're actively trying to make it attacker sided now because they make all these changes, yet there's no nerfs done to any of the LMGs, which are being used by everybody all the fucking time now.
Oh, I agree. Yeah,
yeah.
that's you see the wind deltas, bro. That like Finka's literally Fi and Bar, one of the most overpowered operators, and they didn't touch any of them. Yet I was looking for it earlier. I saw it on Temp's post. Monty wasn't even on there. I spent like 2 minutes looking around for him. I'm like, wait, where's Monty? And then he's all the way down the bottom left, underpicked and too weak. Like, I mean, I think most players are happy with that because shield playing is frustrating, but like,
Well, people don't know how to use shields.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like, and it's either you know how to use a shield and you know how to use it extremely well, or you don't know how to use it at all.
yeah.
Like, there's almost no in between from what I've seen.
Yeah.
And I would like to point out, Nomad and Oryx's nerf is kind of it's balancing because Oryx again, he's already has a lot of stuff going for him, but Nomad's pretty much makes flank watch a must, and it's going to be a change coming up here because, as some people know, Gridlock's getting another canister, and Nomads are not even pushing back anymore. You just get forced into a crouch where you can still shoot. So flank watch is going to be a lot harder for attackers now.
Mm. So that was a buff for Nomad and Oryx? This
No,
one
it's a
five.
nerf.
A nerf.
So
So recovery time reduced to 1.25 seconds from 2 seconds. So Oryx's push and Nomad's air jabs. It only takes you almost it that time for recovery has been cut almost directly in half,
Yeah.
which means that if you are Nomad and you're doing a flank watch, like you literally have to be watching the air jab pretty much.
that
Mhm.
and that's mainly for casual players. Like, why? How are casual
Uh, that
complaining?
that's not for casual. There's no way, dude.
Yeah, like, oh
Like,
my.
I'm sorry to say, it might be a lot of casual players might be getting caught by these because I thought Nomad was in a really good spot as is because a lot of spots you can shoot him, but like it's just that's gonna change the whole meta. It's just gonna make Gridlock a lot more played, maybe zero. It's just gonna take a lot more attention and take it away from the actual execution, put it on flanks.
Gridlock is still
Yeah.
trash, in my opinion. I mean, those stingers, they are okay, but they just, you just get shot. Your shooting gives out your position. Like, no one's really gonna push stingers a lot, and sometimes you can walk around them. With the
Yeah.
Nomad air jab, it's like you get knocked back. That is, you're getting punished for that, for flanking like that. And if you're high skilled or medium skilled players can listen to the air jabs.
Yep.
Well, it's the same thing for the track stingers because you don't just throw a track stinger and put it in the middle of the room. That's dumb as that's just dumb. You put it in a doorway, in stairs, something, and most people are gonna have to dump half a mag in order to get rid of them, so you'd be able to hear it because you don't want to walk over those things. It's 10 damage per second when you're walking over them, something
Yeah,
like that. So
Yeah.
it's pretty serious, and you do need to shoot them. So it serves the exact same point unless somebody's using a suppressor, which for the
mm,
most part is no almost nobody's using a suppressor unless there's like a fucking echo or something.
Actual
yeah,
casual.
yeah.
uh, yeah, I
It,
mean, this kind of draws similarities to but the nerf on Malusi. Some people would call it a buff, some people call it a nerf. A lot of these notification gadgets seem to start getting nerfed. Like Malusi's now activate a lot faster, which means they can get destroyed a lot faster. Nomad's
yeah,
now just pushing back for 1.25, which is more of a like, oh hey, they're over there, not oh hey, let me go kill
mm,
them real quick.
yeah,
Yeah, I like how all these things say population targeted by this change casual, yet all the operators are getting hit with these big nerfs, Nomad and Oryx, Smoke, Ying. These are all operators that I personally have seen played a ton in Pro League. Like
yeah,
there's been a lot more Oryx playing in Pro League. And of
yeah,
course Nomad has always played. So it's like anything that you see going down in Pro League, it's gonna trickle down into casual, of course, because Pro League is where the meta is developed and then everybody adopts that meta. So
yeah.
it's kind of bullshit for them to say they're targeting casual because no, it's you're targeting Pro League, honestly,
Yeah.
because
is
Pro League are the ones using this stuff, and then everyone is copying what Pro League does.
yeah. Like they give. I'm saying that Ying and 4 Candelas. Like no,
Bro.
like people that play Ying, they're basically pushing they're rushing, and literally Ying is good where it's at. She does not need another Candela. 4 is way too much. It's way too
Yeah,
much. Didn't they give her 4 before and then they took it back?
they did.
Yeah, but this time around they cut the flash duration in half.
Yeah.
It,
So how I see this being used is a Ying throws, 2 Candelas in, and then the Nomad or whoever comes behind her and throws a flash in because the flash is,
yeah,
I think, longer than the Candelas now. So it's like, well, you're screwed either way as long as she's used correctly. That's a nerf slash buff that I would have to see in
Yeah.
use just to really judge
okay,
what the change is going to be like.
I
but
mean, I'm gonna correlate this directly to the win loss on defense just for a second here.
mhm,
Like, or well, not the win loss, but the delta itself. Jaeger is apparently overpicked but too weak. That's just gonna make it worse because the fact that Ying on her own can burn 2 ADSs, and you're definitely not gonna be just tossing them in there without flashing or nading beforehand.
she
So
also
it's just it's gonna be dumb. And I do see Warden getting increased in pick rate just a little bit if people are bringing Ying.
yeah, but they gave Yang smokes as well, so she can burn the ADSs and then throw the Candelas in. So take the that does not work any at all. Like
Dude,
this is gonna be another Yang meta, and they increase the duration of the 20 seconds, but they increase the cooldown of 20 seconds. That doesn't do anything. It's neutral. It's a 20-second
yeah,
cooldown. They should have left it like decrease the cooldown to where it was at 10 seconds, but just increase the duration to 20 seconds if Ying will get buffed like that. And really, Ying is a very with the attacker repick. If they see they pick your Warden, they go get off the Ying immediately, and the Warden's basically he's expecting the Ying, but now he's like, oh well, I'm just dead meat now. I'm just a gun. I can't
yeah.
do much. Like what? That doesn't make sense. Like, and it says casual. Like it does not.
Bro, just say all parties at that point because we all know this is targeted at everyone. It's not just
Yes,
one or another.
and one Blackbeard is losing breach charges for
Oh,
the Claymore.
don't even talk to me. I told fucking Alpha about that. Sorry about the curse words, but
It's good.
it's not going to change anything. It's literally going to change nothing about Blackbeard.
He's,
His whole problem is movement speed, and his guns are terrible.
but the thing
Like,
they shouldn't even touch Blackbeard with the Claymore. Like why would he doesn't need a Claymore. The breach charges is fine as it is. Like he has the vertical with that shield that's viable. His shield is trash, so give him the breach charge. Like
I don't know, man. I don't know.
that does
I
not
think
make
that I
sense.
think they're expecting a double Claymore meta to come in here. Yo.
Claymores
Yeah.
it
It's just I don't know, man.
yeah.
I don't know what they're doing anymore. They're not touching the LMGs. They're messing with stuff they already messed with and it didn't work out. Like Yang, I will say, it's gonna go from oh hey I'm flashed, I'm dead to oh hey I'm flashed. I might have a chance of winning this gunfight.
But this is
It's
yeah.
it's just it's not good.
This is in the test server. So if we as a community for this Rainbow Six combine together is like we don't want the smoke nerf, we don't want the Ying buff, we don't want the Warden. Well, we want the Warden like it is, but buff Warden a little bit more. Leave Blackbeard alone. Like,
I I think they have already said that most of these are most likely coming to the game.
oh my
It's
gosh.
just they're testing it overall just to see what happens to the tester. But I think they did say that these are most likely coming into the game. And I will touch on this as well because there's a lot of these, and I'd rather just not spend any more time on
Mm,
this than we need to when these are only on the test server.
mm,
Bandit getting the ability to put 2 down needed to happen a long time ago, and it's going to make Thatcher bans irrelevant for the most part. Because now if you bring a bandit, you can pretty much guaranteed bandit trick walls now.
So,
Thatcher
hmm
is just it's going to be useless.
so he can
And
put
then we're going to
two
see.
on the
Sorry.
same reinforcement on the same.
Yep. So that
So
means if they're Thatchered, he can just put down another set without having to pick it up.
I was thinking
And it can just cycle out the same two.
when I read it, I was thinking like two batteries on one battery on two reinforcements. I'm like, that's a little bit fucking
Nope.
golly.
You're going to be cycling them in and out. So
Yes.
basically, oh, hey, Thatcher goes down. Let me toss down another one, pick up the old one. Toss down another one, pick up the old one.
That
And just that's how it's going to work. So you're going to see a sharp increase in map bans and a sharp decrease in Thatcher bans.
yeah,
And
but and that's only going to affect pro league. It's not going to affect casual because casual just automatic default ban Jack on and Thatcher on default.
yeah.
It
Plus, who really plays Bandit on casual? Maybe
it
unranked or ranked, but like
yeah
casual.
yeah only for
Oh,
the
tons of
gun.
people do for the gun.
Oop,
Yeah.
yeah, but
Oh.
it like this Thatcher being unbanned is not going to affect him being unbanned because he still is a good op with deploying the with getting rid of Wamai's and Jaeger's utility as
Yeah.
well as not just electric. It's all that besides the point.
Yep.
Now, if he was able to like EMP like Goyo stuff that gets shot out, like if he was able to like EMP a mirror wall to where it becomes visible for a few seconds to where you can see somebody, that would be pretty interesting. That's just my opinion. That that's something that can be worth looked at. Um, Osa is creeping up a little bit with the banning, but
I don't. Yeah, I'm not paying too much mind. The fact you can see a Cav over there on defense, I'm not paying too much mind. Azami, I'm not surprised, but she just came out. People just ban her out of hate,
no, not
or
even
because
out of
they don't want
hate.
to deal with
She's
her.
she's really good. Like especially
Yeah.
for if consulate that basement, she can block off yellow, block off the drone hole, and you're forced to Maverick trick or Cali charge that shit.
Yeah.
Like or even push piano just to get that electric off the wall. Um, so that's good. Capcan, um, that's
People like rushing, bro. I don't know.
yeah.
It's interesting seeing some of these, but I
Mm-hmm.
Well,
expect that Valkyrie to go down a bit.
well,
Personally.
the Capcan, you can partially explain it. It's like when Ace came out and everybody had been sleeping on the AK-12, and then everyone's like, "Oh my god, the AK-12 is so good." It's the same thing. A zombie comes out, people are picking her a bunch. People realize, the 9x19 that Capcan has had for 7 years now is actually really freaking good. So in some cases, they could be banning him simply for the gun as well.
Well, Tachanka has the same gun as well. So you don't have to use the freaking LMG for Tachanka. You can use that gun too. And it's they I don't think a lot of people sleep on that too. Like they don't know that Tachanka's what 2 speed. And so with that he's really good. He's like a good roam plus denial. Like he takes a couple of shots off and then fires off his exit. And that's pretty good too. Instead of just playing like a smoke kind of way.
Yeah, but most people I think don't even consider Tachanka most of the time. They still think he's a meme. Some people, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. If you got smoke, then you don't need a Tachanka. They're kind of interchangeable, and one you can kind of deal with versus one you have to avoid or else you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of where I believe he stands right now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think let's see.
it's
But
very interesting.
but how about the so with the whole casual and the pro league, it's weird to think that like it's weird to think that they again backtracking like they think that a lot of things is casual based, but when it really is more of I feel like it's pro league saying complaining about stuff like that. They probably saw a smoke play to where he went into the smoke and started shotgunning them.
Oh, I don't think that ever happened.
I don't think that would happen,
If
but
you can find one for me, send it to me. I'm down to watch it. He probably died in the smoke, but
yeah,
like, dude, I literally the second I thought of this, I thought of making a meme that said, "Smoke forgot what was in the canister."
yeah,
I mean, like, I don't know.
Oh, if it's the reason I've been so quiet last few minutes. If you actually go to the R6 Reddit, like there's a lot of pretty upset people due to the smoke changes.
Oh,
again, why touch
bro.
smoke? Like what you touch mute what 2 seasons ago? The fuck you what was that
I
for?
mean, the mute one needed to be done. It needed to be done. I'm sorry. Like looking back on it now, mute needed to be changed, and now
Mm,
he's in a good spot. But like,
Yeah, if that mute change was definitely pointed towards higher level players in pro league. Like there was weird things you could do. Like you could hide mute jammers and like because it went up and down pretty much infinitely.
mm,
Well, not really, but still, it went up and down quite a
a
bit.
reinforcement. Yeah.
And like you could hide mute jammers and like actually close off certain areas where people should be able to drone just by being cheeky with that. And there's like no way to get rid of the mute jammers without taking control of the area,
yeah.
which
Oh,
you know
I remember on old Oregon, you used to be able to mute the hatch for
you could do
basement.
Oh yeah.
you you could do Oregon. If you put the mute jammer behind the stairs in Clubhouse, you could completely mute it off from droning, so
Yeah.
that they wouldn't be able to go up the stairs. Just like little cheeky shit like that.
Mm,
So
Yeah.
yeah. I get that part, but um, I'm still on the fence with the same
Oh,
smoke thing
I I
because
I agree with you.
I like smoke and they with that it's redundant.
I mean,
Um,
you can see it in the wind delta, bro. It's overpicked and too weak. You're making it worse. Bro, come on. Like, it's just, I don't know, dude. I mean, granted, probably most of those losses in the 2 week section are probably from people trying to get kills with the SMG 11.
yeah,
But like, I don't understand what they're doing with this game recently. Like
yeah,
LMGs are still running rampant. I thought this was going to be the time they actually
do
take like
something.
some action. Yeah, like, and they're not.
yeah, like I don't understand like why they're muting smoke yet they leave Finca completely untouched. And if you look at that wind delta,
Jesus, yeah,
it's ridiculous.
beyond
Bro, no
Jaeger
one's even
levels.
close. Ayana's the next closest, and she's like 2 full blocks away.
she
What are
has
you doing?
she has way more. She's basically another Ash. Like the way she moves,
Yeah.
she has two nades. Ash has two breach rounds. She has a Gone 6. That's an extra destroyable. She has the freaking dronage. Like that's and a dump truck of an ass, but that's besides the point. But like goddamn, the only thing they did for her is get rid of that pose, but they literally just do not touch Ayana and Twitch. Like they,
I don't know why she's so high, to be honest with you.
it's her gun. They have to. That's it. That's all.
I don't.
Because everything besides that is useless. Twitch drones, they gave her the jump and it was okay, but it's not like uber great because you can still shoot those drones. Um, but
Can I
it's
just
just
say
an F
something
two.
controversial real quick?
Go ahead.
if you have nades, you should not have a gone 6. It's like if they did that, I think that might change something along with an LMG change. Because like
Mm-hmm.
you're bringing way too much util to the table at that point. You already have 2 sets of nades. Now you're giving another thing to destroy more gadgets. And it's just you're giving them too much stuff on the table.
Yeah, because she has LMG, so the Gon 6, so a secondary is really not that viable since she has like a
Exactly.
whole LMG.
Yeah.
And
With Iona, it's a little more important, especially if you're running the 1.5. But
mm,
still, the amount of ADS slash burn clear
yeah,
and droning capabilities, which she brings to the table.
didn't
If they wanted to touch her, they'd probably have to up the amount of time it takes in between her drones.
they remove the can opener, the heartbreak charge for the nades? Because her second one was flashes. I mean, just get rid of the nades and give her the the
Just
heartbreach
give her a
device
claymore.
and increase the magazine to of the Gon 6 to 2.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
mean,
please don't do that. No, don't do that. Because then AD Jaeger's going to be even worse. They're going to have to introduce another person to deal with nades, bro. Another one.
another one. Yeah.
No.
Um. Okay. I
But
mean,
yeah, I think we spent enough time on this.
yeah,
With
but
all due respect.
we'll see how Pro League is. And speaking of Pro League, I know
Yeah.
Dan, you had a video about the whole roster stuff like that.
Yeah, I found a video online and I kind of took some stuff from that. Basically, a synopsis of the roster changes throughout last season and this season. Oxygen pretty much dropped person, or they dropped two. Yoga and Kino picked up Yoga's replacement, which is Nurse, and picked up Dream as well.
Mm-hmm.
Xset was officially announced as the 10th team in NAL, and their roster is Kino, Spirits, Yoga,
Mm-hmm.
Gomez, and Diaz Lucas. Astralis also brought in Forest,
Mm-hmm.
and that was kind of finishing up their roster. Mirage, they kind of, when they lost Dream, they were down 3 people. So they kind of had to fill in a bit. They found Melted, Marmalade, and Razor, and
Mm-hmm.
they're kind of finished out their roster. Arguably, the biggest change out of all these, though, was Beast Coast. They dropped 4 people and kept only Anthony, which was kind of big in terms of like the whole roster. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. They're doing decently now, I believe, but
Yeah.
nothing too big. And I will note that SSG, TSN, Dark Zero, and Sonics were not touched as far as rosters go, which was it's very interesting when you think about that. Well,
Mm-hmm.
not really, because I thought Sonics and Oxygen ended up around the same spot, and yet
Yeah.
Oxygen got rid of 2 people. Although it was of the people's will, not, oh, hey, we're dropping you off the team. So, I mean, I guess they just thought, oh, hey, let's go somewhere else and have a better chance of winning. But it's very interesting that for the most part, the big 4 teams didn't really actually change.
I mean, because they're near the bot like Oxygen, Exit, and Beast Coast. When I'm thinking of them, I'm thinking they're at the bottom of the barrel in NA, and
Yeah.
they always struggle to get anywhere. Um, and them moving that around is kind of like they are trying to. They're not really staying on one team, and leaving and not and leaving. Let me rephrase. They are moving around and not building the team up to where it can be.
Yeah,
I just feel like it might be just a synergy issue. Probably, I think that's why they're leaving most likely.
I believe it.
Yeah, it's probably just synergy. Um, they
Yeah.
put yeah.
I will say also Parabellum did keep 3 people and add 3. When I say that, it's because they added Blas, who is a French player, so he can't play stage 1, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
That's why there are 6. And we were assuming that someone is going to get dropped, probably Wimpy or Creators at some point, and he will fill in once they get to through Group 1 stage, which
Mm-hmm.
well, that's an interesting thing in of itself that you're bringing in 6 people, one of which knows that they're going to eventually get dropped if once they get out of the stages, which
Mm,
again, you're an org, you're trying to make these victories, trying to make it deep in the playoffs because then you get more money off of jersey sales, tickets, all that stuff. But it's a very interesting place to put your players, I guess.
yeah, it's like I didn't really go deep into roster changes because I was like I did not know who these people are because I mostly know like Bolo, Hot and Cold,
Yeah, like
Canadian.
the big people like
I
Pengu, stuff like
I
that.
feel like I knew Kino because I feel like I heard that name before. I think I might
Yeah.
have he. I think when me and Wolf was in another team, I think we. I don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. But I
I'm
think that
quoting
was
you.
somebody that was. I think that might have been him, or it was somebody with similar name with a K or something like that. But
Yeah.
I cannot say that I have any opinion about Kino. But it's didn't Oxygen pick up a female Siege player? I
Uh,
felt like because I just saw a it was Oxygen versus TSM, or was it Mirage versus TSM today? And I heard she, so I'm like, okay, so they have a female in there, and that's kudos to all the ladies out there
hell yeah.
making it up.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to finally see another female pro league player. I think the last one was, I forget her name, but she was on Cloud9, I think. But
Mm-hmm.
uh, but yeah, the thing that always surprised me about Oxygen is that when they were first formed, they were essentially reciprocity. They had just, gotten dropped by their org and then I guess, went and jumped with another org or made their own or whatever the deal was. And from what I remember, when they were reciprocity, they did win more than they lost, but ever since they've come together as Oxygen, like they just have not really been performing that well. Like they've obviously been performing well enough to be at invitational, but
Mm-hmm.
still, they
I I think that would probably be just due to management issues, probably, since it was a just a name change from I can't pronounce it right to Oxygen, and they kept the roster, correct?
yeah, at first they made some changes eventually, but
Yeah,
when Oxygen was first formed, it was essentially team reciprocity.
yeah. And wasn't King George on that team?
Uh,
He was on Evil Geniuses
Oh,
at one
Evil
yeah, he
point.
was
Genius,
on
Evil Genius.
Continuum,
Okay,
which became Evil Geniuses.
okay. All
Yeah,
right. Mm.
they were the first pro league winners, and then they broke off, unfortunately.
I feel like with like how Siege is, it's like a roster change, then you have like org change and stuff like that, org takeover. Because what Astralis was, what org was they before? Before they got bought out, it was not dark, not even Dark Zero. What was what was what? Man, that was it. Felt like so.
It was apparently originally called Refresh Teams APS. Yeah, and then Astralis was diverged off of that
Mm-hmm.
back in the CS:GO days.
Because they had bought them. It was because I talked to a content creator that was a part of them, and I talked to him um, about that. It was about what was it? Okay, anyway, I'm gonna look it up, but man, but it's just like with the roster changes and org, it happens so quick and like compared to like actual not actual sports, but like football and basketball. You don't see like the Lakers got their name changed to this and all that and all that, and Houston Astros. This is big old roster changes, but with esports, like the names get really taken up really fast.
Yeah, it's I again, Pro League is always interesting. Like, remember, I think it was maybe a week or two after Pro League ended, but the team that came in second literally like dropped 4 of their 5 people off the team.
Empire.
Empire, yeah,
Yes.
they said, "Oh, hey, you know what? Let's keep the coach and get rid of all 4 of the players that disagree with this style." Like,
Mm-hmm.
I still don't believe that to this day. I might have brought it up in a past podcast, but it's just I don't understand that line of thinking of, "Oh, hey, we got a coach and we got 1 player. Let's get rid of the 4 people who disagree with this one guy." If that's what really happened. Again, there's arguments with that,
Yeah.
and it kind of reminds me of Penn at G2, which I still think is the worst decision that an org could have ever made.
Mm-hmm.
Like, literally, I think it was the second year after they won the championship back to back. Like, and they said they did it because they were trying to get out of the space, but then they come back in like 3 years later. I don't
Yeah.
I don't know what you're doing
I mean,
sometimes, and it's just
mm,
I don't know.
it. I mean, they like this is with coaches in general. Like TSM. I think it was CS:GO or Valorant coach. They did some shady shit with like they was taking money from the players because I do believe one of their family members was in the hospital and he needed the money to pay their medical bills. It was on TSM too. It was like 2 weeks ago. I mean, but like a lot of a lot of coaches, not a lot of coaches, but that is just like they would really argue with the coach more and just take the whole roster on and stuff like that. I'm trying to find that video about that TSM.
Yeah.
I don't know. We can speculate quite a bit, but essentially losing pretty much a whole team. I mean, the only thing you can say for sure is something very big happened, very major.
Yeah,
So who knows?
Yeah, it's not just little squabbles and stuff like that. That can be dealt with.
but the thing
It
is,
had to be.
Team Empire came in second. That should be good enough. I mean, you shouldn't get mad for like getting. Well, I'm not getting second place.
Well, that one I can understand more so than if they got like eighth place because they came so close. So maybe it's an issue of a bunch of people being like, "Hey, we lost because your coaching style is just shit," that sort of thing.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I don't know. I feel like that kind of came down to execution because you should not be bringing a Blackbeard in a Pro League final match. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's just no matter what, that should not be a strat in a book. And I guess that kind of plays against the coach, but still, the players had to go along with that. They had to say, okay, we're going to do this. That's,
Mm-hmm.
you're kind of throwing in the towel already there.
Yeah, and the thing is, like the coaches cannot talk between like rounds, right? They cannot talk to their team.
No, they cannot.
Then I mean, Siege coaches. I mean, I'm not saying they're irrelevant or anything like that, but if they can't like discuss between rounds or stuff like that, then what kind of um like that's not really
It's it's timeouts and in between matches.
yeah.
That's where they shine is, oh, hey, you guys are doing this wrong. We need to change this. Maybe this isn't working out too well. Let's change this op to this op, see how that affects us, and we go forward. But like, it's again, I don't think that this should have happened per se,
Mm-hmm,
but it probably came down to the 4 players probably saying, "Oh, hey, maybe this wasn't the best option. We've been having issues with you all season and just happen to win these games.
mm-hmm.
We need you to like we need you guys to find us a new coach." And instead the organization said, "No, we believe in this coach. How about this? Instead, we'll just bench you guys and we'll look for new players."
Okay, so
And that seems to be what happened.
let's see how Empire performs this year. Because I
Yeah.
doubt that it's going to be the same like last like year six.
Who
Um,
knows? It might be a miracle.
yeah, I will eat my words if I see Empire up in SI one more time. The third time's a charm, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm. I know. I saw. I think it was a tweet. It was like they taken Pengu, put in the roster for Dark Zero.
I put that in memes. I put that in memes, dude. I was cracking up. They lost to 1 point, so we're gonna sub them in and see what happens.
They taking
Dude,
Pengu out of retirement.
I love April Fools, dude. Dark Zero, that's one thing I'll say. They are hilarious when it comes to that shit. This
Yeah.
is gave me a good laugh there.
Yeah, Dark Zero. I'm really like, but like besides performance and everything, I'm starting to like really enjoying Dark Zero,
Dude,
and Dark
they deserve
Zero.
to win.
Yeah, Dark Zero and a little bit of TSM because they don't really show. Um, because with Dark Zero, I see a lot of more of like content creators from them, like
Yeah.
but
Pengu, they started doing a podcast as
mhm.
well.
Yeah,
Canadian's restarting his podcast, the 6161.
yeah,
In addition, they've got a lot of content coming out, and therefore you get to see the personality of the team a lot more.
yeah.
Whereas I feel TSM doesn't really do that too much, or at least I don't really hear about it.
They got Macy J, and that's it. That's all I'm
Yeah.
thinking. Macy J, and then you got Bolo and Bolo here and there streaming, and but it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing though. It's like it's just a
Yeah.
pro player. Just hey, I'm a pro player. Come watch me. It's not
Because
like
you have, I don't know.
yeah.
You got to have the ability to not only retain the people you have, but the
Mm-hmm.
ability for people to just randomly see it and say, "Oh, hey, I want to join." Like people are going to, if you know Siege, you're going to see Pengu. You're going to be like, "Oh, hey, Pengu's in this. Let me just click on it and see what happens.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm interested in this." Whereas I don't feel like TSM really has that behind them. Like they might have some content creators, but they don't really have anyone that makes you say, "Oh, hey, I know that guy. Let me go watch him." Or, "Oh, hey, this just showed up on my feed. Let me take time out of my day to do this."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because like yeah, it's like TSM doesn't really have much entertainment people. They just have good
Yeah.
players. It's good, and they don't really keep a consistent play style because they're focused on like
Siege.
practice and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
mean, Bolo is basically just because his name is why he has the following that he has.
I mean, it's like
Um,
super, dude.
because
It's
they
like
because
super.
they're saying that he was content creator and now he's a pro player, but he didn't balance them well. He was more he went more to the
Yeah.
pro league and he posts it his highlights on the YouTube and that just gets a good following. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but um, like give us like some more details.
Yeah, he's hurting the final product and what he used to produce in comparison to what he
Mm,
is currently producing.
yeah,
And I guess it's just how he wants to get, I guess, be remembered and be
yeah,
seen by the community. If he wants to be seen as a guy that just puts his boots to the ground and grinds the whole time, he can go for it. But
yeah.
that's
And
kind of the community you're building.
the thing about I mean I'm not even blaming him that much. Is that and siege content is getting harder and harder every year to get because a lot of people look at the old videos and use those same strategies to do and it's not much to build with because a lot of the operators play the same play style from day one even though they do have a little bit adjustment here and there but there's a lot of operator how to's. There's a lot of opinion opinionated R6. The only thing that's really popping is just R6 update videos. Like here's the latest patch notes and this and that and but there's not a lot of like here's what to do and all that because a lot of people do have been doing that for years. They still do like year one stuff and year seven just for the memes or just the hell of it, just throw a curveball.
Yeah.
and and I feel like with Siege, it's it's way better than Call of Duty because Call of Duty content is dead. Call of Duty content is dead, but Siege content is starting to, it's being stretched a little bit too thin, and it needs to be something to really pop. Like I think it just either it needs to be a new game. It's just how shooters are, because even Overwatch, there's dead Overwatch content. CS:GO content is dead, but I mean it content is still popping out there, but it's not the same it used to be, and Siege is starting to become like that, and it just the doesn't last forever with games, especially with a growing platform like Siege. So, um, Pro League still, it's bread and butter, but the content has to be something original, like something that hasn't been done before.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it over the years with the rise of Fortnite, fall of Fortnite, rise of Warzone, the fall of Warzone. A lot of these battle royale, these newer things that you've seen, and recently it's been Valorant, a little bit of Warzone, little bit. That's mostly died off along with Fortnite,
Mm-hmm.
and you're seeing a lot more Elden Ring as well. Like people are always going to gravitate to these newer games,
Yeah,
especially if they're fun. But to your point, it is very hard to make content on a game that's been out for 6 years along
mm-hmm.
that lines, and they're gonna have to change something eventually. Like Overwatch is coming out with the second one. Personally, I don't think as many people are just gonna play that game as playing Overwatch overall. I think there might be an initial jump, but for the most part, I think it will probably stagnate and go back down to where it is right now, even with the new game.
Yeah,
And unfortunate as it may be, I think eventually people will start getting burnt out on Siege again,
yeah.
and it'll kind of stagnate around like what CS:GO is now, what past Call of Duties have been, and what maybe even current Call of Duties, because current Call of Duties don't even get viewership numbers anymore.
It because the thing with Call of Duty Pro League don't start till like near the end of the cycle, and it's like even Call of Duty rank, it doesn't even kick off at the start, and that's
Yeah,
one gripe I have about Call of Duty is that um it its competitive scene, it kicks off very slow, and it does, and when it kicks off the next one's already out. With
yeah,
Siege, like rank is there was there. I'm not sure when Siege rank started, but rank is always there day one of the new year. Like
yeah,
with Call of Duty, again, it, it just it don't start till like 3 months in, and it's not even, it's way unenjoyable compared to playing casual.
yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say it's really fair to compare Siege to Fortnite or Call of Duty. Call of Duty is its own ecosystem of things. Speaking honestly, you can't really truly compare it to anything else. You can compare certain game modes of it, sure,
Yeah.
but it's like you're also coming into things where like Warzone plays slightly different than regular, the one
Mm.
out that's out right now is Vanguard. It plays slightly different than, Vanguard multiplayer and stuff like that. Like sounds could be different, movement may be a little different. Like it's its own thing. And with Siege, like pretty much the only thing to do on Siege is like play ranked. Like there's really nothing else to do.
Yeah.
TDM, bro.
And
Just grind TDM.
and the
Well,
thing.
now, yeah, but that's like 2-3 weeks old.
They got that
But
new headshot game mode.
but
eh,
and Siege is um it's like comparing, for example, it's like comparing PUBG to Tarkov. In
mhm.
essence, they're kind of the same thing, kind of, not entirely, but kind of. The whole goal is to kill a bunch of people and survive. Um, but PUBG is way more casually oriented, and Tarkov is like damn near a military sim. And it's the same thing when you compare something like Siege to Call of Duty. Call of Duty is a lot more tactical, it's a lot more slow. You need to know the maps, you need to be in sync with your team, you need to know how angles are created, all this shit. With Call of Duty, you can literally just jump into a game and start running around and get kills
Yeah.
reliably.
Yeah.
Like so it's it's not quite apples to oranges, but it's pretty close.
Yeah.
CS:GO is kind of the same thing because you can CS:GO is like kind of like a bridge because you can just sort of run and gun. It's probably not gonna work out too well. Um, but you can also, be a little bit more tactical. Knowing the map definitely benefits you. Knowing angles, how to
Mm-hmm.
shoot, how to do this, how to do that. So, like, all these games are unique in their own right, and I don't think it's really fair to compare them because all of them do something really well and then do something
Mm-hmm.
really bad.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and
I
they
mean,
all they all have different audiences. I mean,
yeah.
um, like I don't know where I was going with that, but like take CS:GO for example.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, there is 386,000 people playing Rainbow Six Siege. Right now, there is 31,000 people playing it. The bar to entry for Siege is just higher because you have to know so much just to begin having fun.
Yeah.
You
Right.
need to know how to shoot, you need to know movement, you need to know the operators, you need to know the maps, you need to have
Yeah.
game sense, blah 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 blah. So whereas with CS:GO, you're still gonna get slammed, but you have a better chance of getting kills, just sort of running around, and it's also not as punishing because the rounds sometimes aren't as long and there's more of them as opposed to Siege. So
Mm-hmm.
we we could jump down that rabbit hole, but the point I'm making is like you can compare them, like Call of
Yeah.
Duty, CS:GO, Fortnite, Siege, all them, but it's not really fair to
Yeah.
because with at least all the big games, of course there's imitators, but with all the really big games, they're big because they're all unique. They're different enough from everyone else that you know it's got something unique to offer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I
I.
mean, in terms of pro league scene, at least for Call of Duty, I've seen a decline. Like, I don't know about you guys, but at one point in my life, there was a moment where people would go crazy over these sort of like pro league games for Call of Duty. Like, oh, hey, they used to be some big thing, just like CS:GO. These big tournaments used to be some big thing that you could watch, rewatch because there was always these big events happening.
Mm-hmm.
And now, as these games have moved in, CS:GO has kind of been phased out. Same thing with Call of Duty. It's their viewership's kind of dying because they can't really. It's not really as important. The times have changed, and people have kind of moved on, and they haven't been able to attract new people because the game, in essence, has stayed the same, and
Yeah.
it's just reskin after reskin after reskin. It's people get sick and tired of it after a while.
Yeah. And the thing with Call of Duty is it's enjoyable. Like it could be enjoyable to watch, but the thing is, they mostly play like what search and destroy. They don't really go with the respawn mechanics of the competitive scene with it, and it's always one. It's basically more about skill than about the gun, because everybody in the pro league is going to use, like, for instance, Black Ops 1, everybody was using the FAMAS for pro league, and they mostly had like lightweight and stuff like that. Lightweight, ninja, and
Meta loadouts, pretty much.
yeah,
Nothing's changing.
they all had the same perks and guns, and it was basically just on shooting,
Yeah.
and it was search and destroy. Uh, and that is because like they literally have to ban a lot of stuff for just for pro league Call of Duty to kick off. And thinking about that now, I can understand why it starts out later, but it it needs to just happen sooner. They need to, like, if they think about Call of Duty as an esport, they need to already set the ground rules. This one needs to not be in here. This needs to be not be here in pro league, and then you can start at day one.
Agreed.
Yeah, and I feel like with Overwatch, I feel with the Overwatch 2, it's going to be a major overhaul because I think with Overwatch you could have picked just you could have just have one healer and stuff like that, but now they're putting in roles that you need a tank, you need two DPSs, you need two healers.
Yeah. I
That's
mean, it
it.
makes it more enjoyable for people as a whole because then
Right.
you can queue into a 5 stack and you can, to a point, hope, oh, hey, my teammates aren't absolutely throwing their brains out going for DPS and I'm stuck with heals and someone else is stuck with tank. It kind
Mm-hmm.
of makes it like enjoyable to play with. And they still include the other game modes in there,
Yeah.
but like you kind of need the force structure or else people are end up just making it unenjoyable for others at really their own expense.
Yeah. And that's a little bit with Siege too. Like you have the support, you have the flex, you have the injuries. But the thing is kind of like when you look at from outside looking at Siege in, you don't know what these roles are. You just see these operators that's playing constantly, and you don't really know who's the support. And that's one thing I like about too because I'm like I look at Siege game, I'm like I wonder when I'm thinking like I wonder who's playing support, I wonder who's IGLing, because I'm not sure what's going on because I just see how they play, but I'm not sure what role they play in because you might have their injury being negative, but he did his injury stuff, and support being a frag person, but he was a support. And you
Yeah.
thinking the support was injury, but the injury was support.
You'll think the support was the one doing anything when in reality those entries were the ones getting them the opportunities to get
Yeah,
in and get the picks.
yeah,
It's all about tacticalism and again to Cal's point earlier, there's not really anything much like it. Like you can draw some similarities, but
yeah,
overall it's vaguely different and if you already don't know what's going on, it's going to be very hard for someone to come over and be like, "Oh, hey, this is what's going on. I can piece this together. I can get some idea of how these people are playing, what they're running
mm-hmm.
instead of just, "Oh, hey, uh what is this guy doing? Why is he looking over here? Why is he doing all this stuff?" And I guess that is a part of watching it and getting the experience of the casters and stuff like that, but
Yeah,
to a point you do need some entry knowledge just to even watch it.
yeah. And when with Siege and everything, I want to get go back into more Siege, but um, with the patch and everything, um, overall, then how have you been enjoying the year 7?
uh, I've been having a decent amount of fun. I think Goyo's changes, Goyo, I don't think from what they did was enough. You could see it in one delta. Again, I'm going to be referencing that because it's hard stats, but
Yeah,
he is not good. Like his stuff does last, but the fact that you have to shoot it, like
yeah,
it makes it really hard to actually use it when you're playing the character now. Because
right,
at least when Goyo was originally around, he had the shields, but now that his gadget itself has been exposed as something that you have to actively know when to use as opposed to it automatically going off,
yeah,
it's it makes it very hard. Like I was telling my one friend, I'm like, hey, if there was a way you could connect that to like a beeper or a cap can or something like that and make it so that, oh hey, when this goes off, this will activate this somewhere else in the objective, that would be like the best case scenario for Goyo
right.
because then you could queue this stuff up. Maybe you could connect it to a Melusi or something like that, and then when that goes off, the fire would go off automatically. Like the fact that it's an
Oh,
active gadget that you have to actively like pay attention to and use makes it very hard.
you,
You just you just have to be smart with it.
yeah,
One of the smartest ways I've seen it used so far is putting the Goyo gadget on barricades so that when people bust them down, they explode.
That's it.
That
ah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
that's one of the smarter ways I've seen it used. And it burns for 20 seconds. So now you just ground somebody's push to a complete halt.
Yeah.
oh, okay. I didn't even think about that because I was thinking about what Dan was saying. Like it, if it was if it was more of a support gadget, like if it was a near Malusi and the Malusi was to vibrate, the Goyo thing just instantly blows up. It will destroy
Like,
the Malusi gadget too, but it will put that land of fire. Or if you put a proximity alarm next to it, it will blow up as soon as that sound goes off. Like if it was that sensitive to an operator gadget, it will blow up.
well, then it would be a little too OP. Like, you gotta. The whole thing with Siege is you have to give up something in order to be able to do the thing you want to do. Like,
Right.
that's the whole thing with the balancing. So that's why I'm on board with it. Like it being able to be put on a barricade, because
Mm-hmm.
you can barricade any door and then throw it on a barricade. Like if you don't have to use it for a rotate, if they want to get through, well, they either have to go and destroy a software or they have to bust down that barricade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, how would if it was a support gadget to what I said before? How would that's a kind of a win-win for the defender. Like you lose the Malusi, but you get a ring of fire for 20 seconds.
Yeah. I mean, it's all a bunch of like, I guess, smoke and mirrors. Like, oh, hey, this could happen. This could happen. The
Mm-hmm.
fact of the matter is, Goyo is not a good op
Yeah.
right now. In the current meta, he's definitely underutilized, and whether that's because his gadget isn't the best in comparison to others, or
Mm-hmm.
the fact that they aren't utilized because when you peek to shoot it, you get shot in the face.
Yeah.
There are a couple of things that I think overall kind of just set up for him being in the position he is down there, almost with Clash. Like, it's bad when operators are down with Clash. Castle, I understand because his whole thing's a 50-50. It's just a
Mm-hmm.
better barricade, but like, I don't know.
I mean, because
I just don't think that's good.
I do believe Castle's skill ceiling is a little bit higher
Yeah,
than
especially with the UMP.
because a lot of people, a lot of new people, they'll pick Castle, barricade all the site, and it will trigger somebody. It will leave y'all uh playing Turtle, and it's annoying. Turtle, or you're basically jailed and you're locked out, one or the other with the
Yeah,
Castle. So
you
I
have
can
you.
mhm,
Sorry,
I
your whole
can
team kind of.
yeah.
I'm so
Well,
sorry.
the interesting thing about these win deltas is it's only plat and above that's reported. So these
Yeah,
are all people that know how to play the game.
It's the 1%.
So it's a little bit higher. I think it's something like 5 to 10%. Um,
yeah,
because
It's what is it? The what's the opposite of minority? It's the
majority.
majority. Yeah, majority.
Yeah,
Most likely the pros, because the pros that pay that casually play are mostly like plat and above, and
I mean,
and like pro
yeah,
streamers.
because the two high points are around gold 2, gold 1, and then it's around plat 2, plat 1. Those are the two most popular areas. And then
Mm-hmm.
everywhere else is kind of smaller and minority. Copper is very small, and so is Diamond slash Champ. And that's
Yeah.
just how it is.
well, if you actually go in game and you look at the ranks, like the most heavily populated rank is something like silver 2.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's where most people's skill ceiling
Mm-hmm.
ends, I guess. I don't know what way to put it. But I mean, plat isn't that difficult to get to as long as you have a good stack. I mean, I think the majority of people in the server that are regulars have at least hit plat 3 at least once.
I just hit plat 3 and
Shut
I
up.
ranked yesterday, I believe.
Shut up.
And I'm looking to hit Diamond at some point this season.
Shut
For
up.
hopefully, if we can
Oh
all
my
queue together.
gosh.
Yeah,
I
it's crazy.
honestly being honest, um, I performed better when I streamed earlier today. I performed better on rank by myself when I played with Team Red and unrank out, because I came in late for practice and they were playing unrank. I'm like, why are we playing unrank? Can't we just play rank? Like I looked
Oh,
at everybody's. When practice was over, I looked at everybody's stats. Like no one has played ranked. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean,
and it's like only people that place was me and Seth, and I'm not sure where Seth is at, but I already hit my goal 3. I lost the match by the last game, but I hit my goal. I just need to get that one win because I'm averaging 100 elo, so I need to play a few more
yeah,
games for my elo to average out. But
that's why I'm saying I might be able to hit diamond if we were able to actually consistently queue together.
yeah,
Like,
and
it's
with
kind of where I'm
and
at
with
right
my
now. But
schedule is I'm most likely going to have to play a lot of rank by myself, that or in the
yeah,
morning if I have time, because at night people are hesitant with rank. I get that. I'd rather play rank at night by myself because I enjoy.
yeah, I agree.
Hmm. But um, that was a little bit rant, but I feel like it's just yeah.
Yeah, it's hit or miss. I've been playing with a couple of people, and I've been watching a couple of people play while I'm just doing whatever. And the uh, the cheater situation does. I don't know if it's getting worse, but it doesn't seem like it's getting better.
Yeah.
So, because I've played a couple of matches, and it seems so far about like 70-30. 70% of the time everything's good, and then 30% of the time it's you're asking questions like, "Oh, is that due to closeter?" And then every now and then you got a blatant one.
Hmm. Yeah. Cause I came across my cheater last week, and I literally sent that. I tweeted it to I tweeted out to Ubisoft. I think it took like a couple of days, but I already got they already adjusted and everything. But I didn't even hit my rank, so I'm not sure if that adjusted if I got a MMR rollback because of that, because I didn't place.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
that's
thinking.
always something I always wonder about is when cheaters happen while you're in placements, what happens to the elo?
Mm,
Because you're not
yeah,
really gaining or losing, you're technically getting placed, but I don't know.
Like
that
you have invisible MMR, so like you do gain and lose, but it's like knowing Ubisoft, like you ain't getting it back anyways. So
yeah, it's the phone verification like that. That's not gonna work because again, my phone is suspicious, even though it's not. I may get spam calls from people, but I mean it's a
well,
legit number.
well, a lot of a lot of companies do that. Like they'll only accept numbers from like the big carriers because for those side carriers, a lot of those side carriers, you can walk into a store and for, you pay the price of a phone and then like an extra $20, boom, you've got a phone number,
Yeah,
and then like you can just go and change it. Like
Well,
it doesn't cost that much. Like especially the pay as you go type of plans. Like
mm-hmm,
it's not a huge buy-in. Like if somebody's
yeah.
really dedicated, um,
Well,
just being in IT for as long as I have on, I know just having that system in place, it will significantly cut down on a lot of people because most people are just going to be like, okay, whatever, and just move on to something else because now they're inconvenienced. They don't want to be inconvenienced. They just want to go and
yeah.
do whatever they want and have it be as quick as possible. But the dedicated ones, obviously, they are going to find ways around it, which is why um, you want to have systems in place that prevents you from having those services that do like the phone number to email conversion, pay as you go plans, stuff like that. They want you to only be using a phone that you're locked in with that number for a
Mm-hmm.
set amount of time. So it's extremely inconvenient for you to go and get a new one.
Yeah. Cause well, it's still flawed because my girlfriend, I do believe she has one of those. She doesn't have a big time carrier, and I have Cricket, which is bought out by AT&T, and mine doesn't go through, but hers does. And my niece's, I tried using hers. She's with C Spire, and it went through, but I could. Well, she wasn't able to verify because she wasn't getting the text messages, but it did go
so
through.
ceasefire works,
It
but Cricket doesn't. Okay.
It's
Okay.
Cricket's been longer
so
than
well.
ceasefire.
Well, that's probably why. They're probably using data where it's like, okay, people that have accounts or things that are associated with malicious dealings more than likely have numbers with these carriers, like the smaller ones, and they're probably banning based off of that data. And as things go on,
Mm-hmm.
maybe things will change as they get more and more player feedback and they start collecting more data. um, if their security team is smart, and they want to start testing things out, they may do things like start allowing certain carriers and then paying very close attention when they get those carriers registered with accounts to see
Mm-hmm.
what the ratio is for people that are doing shady things as opposed to not. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
but again, this is Ubisoft, so I may
yeah.
be giving them too much credit.
And the
It's
thing
a
is,
small indie developer. Don't forget.
I feel like with America, we have so many carriers and a lot of burner phones compared to like other countries. Because I'm not sure how other countries' phone service are. Because I just know we
Yeah.
have so many phone carriers out here. Because no one's gonna pay like the big times anymore. Because with how shit runs in America, it's better to get one of those burner phones with a good phone, like get an iPhone, the latest iPhone, but get a burner number, like get a small time carrier, compared to like getting the big timer because you go pay the contract, the interest, plus the any added fees they have, and you have to pay that shit on time. Because with my Cricket, I can pay half on my due date, and then I can pay the remaining 7 days after. With other places, you still pay half. Your phone still gets cut off till they get the full amount. But that's one thing. That's one reason why I'm still with Cricket. Because if I need to clutch it out for a week, I will clutch it out. And I do like that because I still get my 7 days of service, and that does not penalize you at all.
Interessante.
That's a little bit information for people that don't have Cricket, but hey, I'm not getting sponsored by Cricket, so yeah.
No free shots.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, back to the whole roundabout thing that we went through here. I think this season it's definitely better than last season. I don't know about your guys' experiences, but I'm gonna jinx myself right now and say it. I have not come across that many cheaters, like realistically.
Yeah.
And I'm playing around where I was last time,
Mm-hmm.
but it was always good at the beginning of last season too, and then it just got progressively worse. Granted, last season was terrible. It was
Oh
terrible.
yes, that was my worst. That was my
Like
worst season of all time. Like my worst
it,
season because it felt
yeah,
like I was playing with. I don't know who I was playing with. It was just like I don't belong in this. I belong here, but it don't feel like I belong in here
bro.
because I'm. Why am I struggling in gold 3? Like I'm supposed to hit gold 1
Yeah,
already, and I'm struggling just to get into
yeah.
gold 1. But
Just toss a match and toss it into the fucking garbage bin, bro. That's what it was. It was just a garbage fire last season.
yeah,
It
and
was it started so easy and then it just got hard for no reason. Bunch of cheaters out of nowhere. And yes, they did calm down a bit, but they were still there. Like the fact that you even have to worry about that is kind of frustrating.
yeah, I wish we had like an actual cheater, like an actual legitimate person. Like, oh, I've been banned this many times. I want I would love to pick their brain. Is like, what made you decide to cheat? Like,
I can find one if you want. If you really want me to, I can find one. I don't think
that
they're gonna have a Ubisoft anymore, but I'll be able to find them.
if you can find one, I would love to bring them in the podcast.
I got you.
I'm not saying next podcast or anything, but if we're able to get a blatant cheater, we can see why they cheated, why they did this. Besides, like, oh, I
Oh,
just want to improve my stats. No, you little shit. You did something else besides that. You're
I
lying.
I would I would like to clarify. I do not condone this at all. I'm saying that I could probably find one because there's a lot of them. Just like in Call of Duty, where you could literally just find people who were cheating for like 5 years. Like
Yeah.
there's definitely a way,
Mm-hmm. Like I.
and I just have to watch the ban rates, and then I'll just pick a random Ubisoft name and be like, "Hey, you want to come on our podcast?"
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're gonna put
but
you in some This is some
What
red
did he
table
do?
stuff right there. Make you sweat like Will
Yeah,
Smith.
what you do, Mister ILLIIILLI barcode looking?
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, no,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's definitely a lot better. I don't know about your guys' experiences. I've been fortunate enough, I think,
Mm-hmm.
that I haven't gotten a notification on my screen that says, "Oh, hey, you've got an MMR back." But
Yeah. I
we'll
I
see.
I myself I don't really report because I don't even look at the kill cams. I literally just when I get shot, I really press space and get on
Oh,
camera.
this guy,
I don't look
this
at anybody's perspective. So I probably came across the cheaters and never reported them. But I mean, I did have somebody that literally blatantly was cheating like last week. I had footage of it. I had posted it on my YouTube because I needed evidence. But
I still I still think the Claymore Warrior is one that I will talk about forever. This guy was running Zofia and he'd shoot people with his Claymore out. I don't even know how he did it.
was that a
It
bug or
was a
was that a
great day.
cheat? That's the question though. Was that a
It
bug
was
or
a
was
cheat. It was definitely a cheat because he was doing it in the actual game.
it?
And he
Yeah.
was just like blatantly wall hacking too, which made it better. I think we have a clip somewhere of
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, we've got a few. I took a couple.
Yeah. It was great.
Yeah.
Emphasis on great. It wasn't actually great. It was terrible.
Yeah.
But hey,
It's 2022. There's cheaters everywhere. It's like you can't really
yeah.
complain about a game so much because of cheaters because like it's people a lot of stuff gets compromised so easily. It's kind of like why do we even have security if it's just gonna get compromised that
All
like
I'm
that?
saying. All I'm saying, Valorant doesn't have any cheaters. They have like maybe 5 overall. Like we have 5 in like 10 games, bro. Just do that.
Yeah,
Just become that.
but big companies big companies have big egos, so they don't want to try like talk to the next person for some help
I mean, even
because
Call of Duty's doing it, bro. They finally took the hit to their ego and they're like, oh, hey, we're bringing in an anti cheat. Now, again, do I really know if any people are cheating that? No, because I don't watch it anymore.
mm-hmm.
But I'd hope that it's working.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know.
yeah, but we get a little bit time with it, but we did a little bit over for makeup time because we've been trying to get this going on. But I mean, myself this past March was kind of HE double hockey sticks with my birthday and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Also, Cal did give me a birthday present, and I just want to publicly say thank you again, Cal, for the
Let's go.
siege hammer. I made a video.
Oh, let's go.
I tried to send him the video, but Discord, Discord doesn't really
I
have it.
guess it was too big.
Yes, it was too big. I'm like, God damn, like this is not my dick. I can't
Classic.
upload. But
Bruh.
I did have my
Okay.
siege hammer on top of my bookshelf there.
Yeah, I might break the bookshelf, bro. Watch
No,
out. And by the way, try to keep that away from your keyboard just in case you do come across a cheater. Okay. I don't want to accidentally send it through your monitor or maybe
I,
the table. Who
I'm
knows?
not a rager, bro. I'm not a rager like that. I would
Hey,
say
man.
I've
Nobody says they're a rager until they actually break something and
no.
then someone else tells them that.
I'm literally not gonna freaking
I know.
break
I know.
myself. Have you seen that video where the dude like he was thinking about everything before he was breaking? He ended up breaking the wall because it was only like a $5 fix.
Yeah, he kept like he was like looking around. He was thinking of what he could break, and then he just punches the wall.
Yeah, I'm like that,
Yeah,
but I don't even think about even doing my wall because I'm not even gonna take the time to fix it.
sir.
I'm just going to yell, but I will get my stuff done. But anyways,
Yes, sir.
see
Yes,
y'all next time.
we finally got it out.
We finally got it out. Peace.
Peace.